Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Righteous Gemstones Season 1, Episode 4. It's called Wicked Lips. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. And it took a lot of willpower not to start making kissy faces at the camera right after I said that, quite frankly.
The audience loves it.
I'll give you some wicked lips. Okay, I done it. I done a little bit. We can move on with our lives now. So... we complained there wasn't enough Keith last episode. So I was delighted that this episode opened with our main man with an ice cream cone watching longingly at like there was like a basketball game on or something, and there's like a bar full of people cheering and being happy and doing human things. I don't know. I've never watched a sports game in a bar in my life. But but he's watching this with his ice cream cone, just all kind of sad. Yeah, you can almost hear the piano music come in. In fact, there might have been piano music. I don't know if there was.
He's so adorable with his like buttoned up shirt all the way, and he's like it's tucked into these like cargo shorts and walking around with this pink ice cream cone. He's just so cute, so sweet.
They've also intentionally got him in like a shirt that's like 2 sizes too small because he's pretty ripped. So it just adds to this ridiculous look of the whole thing. Because he's got this like 80s mullet combined with the ice cream cone, and the whole thing is just whatever. But he ends up running into some of his old crew, his old goth Satanist crew. one of the ladies of which had a gas mask or something on. It was like a breather she had on.
Yeah, I think it was like the DJ.
Yeah, but it was like a steampunk looking breather. It wasn't like it wasn't like something you'd hand out now. This is like a steampunk thing.
It was a little Bane of Dark Knight Rises.
A little Bane, you say? Oh.
Are you gonna do it? The pressure is on.
You think Satan is your ally? You merely adopted him. I was molded by him. I'm sorry. The bottle's not empty yet. I'm better with a can. I don't have any empty cans though, because I've been good and not been drinking anything that comes in cans. So I don't have the perfect echo effect yet. So, but they ask him to hang out for listening to like the DJ's new track, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I can't." And
yeah, some girl with pigtails just like, I heard you hanging out with those gemstone loonies or whatever. He's like, no, it's not me. It must be some other guy.
So we get like a little scene after he walks away of what they're like listening to this track. They all do this kind of like choreographed dance thing where they're all just kind of in a line, like
they're all raving out, to a song that just plays the word Lucifer over and over again. In
unison though, they're dancing in unison, which is the like. I mean, obviously most people, if they're dancing to a beat, are somewhat dancing in unison, but this is like no, they're all like doing the exact same move. So I don't know. It was very surreal. It's a very surreal opening to the episode, and
it was shot in a really cool way that made it kind of hypnotic.
But it plays into one of the main plots of the episode, which is this rich couple who always donate things to the gemstones. Kelvin's tasked because he's the one who works with the youths, as he keeps putting it, to try and basically give an intervention to their teenage daughter who's got a new boyfriend who's leading her down a rough path, and he takes Keith with him to do a cleanup. They've got like a little trailer and everything they bring with them, which is like it was some like Christian cleanup crew or something like that.
Yeah,
something like that.
It's almost like an episode of Hoarders or something, but aggressive.
And they go up. They come in, and the girl's sitting with her parents, and she's really mouthy, tells them to F off, and whatever else. And they get really, oh well, there it is. I'd love to say I'm disappointed, but I'm not. So they go up to her room and just start like going through her stuff, and like anything that is leading her to Satan is being like confiscated so they can burn it. And some of it's just like, it's like a random bra at one point. There's like another couple of random things that are just like meaningless. And then the best moment of the whole scene though, possibly the funniest moment of the whole episode, is when Keith picks up a fidget spinner and he's sort of looking at it as it's spinning right in front of him. And Kelvin just goes, "No, Keith, don't look at it, don't look at it." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, that was close. That was a close call, Keith. That was a close call."
That was close. I know.
Oh god. And that's saying something when right after this there's the used condom, which uh you know was
Keith
so
just picks up out of the trash with his bare
yeah,
hand.
it was just so perfectly like kind of like it looked so fresh because it wasn't even like remotely like he's just dangling it. It's like this is used contraception. Which did lead to the other joke that I really liked when they're outside and they see the boyfriend. It's like I think it was his semen. He's the one who filled that condom.
I also like when they're leaving and he gives them like a high five and a hug, and instantly he asked Keith if he had washed his hands. Keith said no.
Yeah, that was really, really, really funny stuff. But it all kind of ties in because the plot, you know, because Kelvin goes to the school, which, by the way, creepy. Some random like 30-year-old showing up at the school to talk to one of the teenagers, you know, when they're you know doing track or whatever, and
Yeah, it looked like rugby or not rugby.
lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
There you go.
Lacrosse, yeah.
That stupid sport that I only know exists because of American
Only
Pie.
white people play it.
Isn't it just American football, but instead of like holding the ball, you just throw it with a net and catch it with a net?
Yeah. Lacrosse, and I think that's more of an East Coast thing. Like all the East Coast colleges have lacrosse teams. And on the West Coast, at least in California, we all have water polo teams.
Polo.
Just volleyball in the water.
Okay.
It's a dumb sport.
Good to know.
I mean, I'm sure people will tell me otherwise, but it's a pretty dumb sport. And for some reason, in the hit television show Star Trek Enterprise, Captain Archer is like a big college water polo guy, and it's just such a lame character trait that I don't like.
I feel like calling Star Trek Enterprise a hit television show is a bit of a stretch, but sure.
I actually really love it, but yeah. Archer's not my favorite captain.
Sure. Yeah, but isn't he
The
Scott
water
Bakula?
polo thing is a yeah. The water polo thing is a knock against him.
Okay, good to know. But it has that. It's been a long road. It's got that
Oh,
song.
what a great song. Yeah.
Yes.
Every time a show fades to black, I want to start singing it. It's been a long road.
Oh, this is a peek inside Tara's mind. What a peek. Tara's leading me down a dark path. This was a
You will watch Enterprise. You will love Enterprise.
this was a
Just get past the pilot episode with the weird, sexy decontamination scene, and you'll be fine.
sexy decontamination scene. Say no more. Say no more. So anyway, he convinces her to come to this youth meeting, which is basically just a giant trampoline room that he invites her to with some rock climbing and whatnot. It's like it's like a youth center with fun activities. I'm not going to lie. Even at 30, I'm like, you know what? I'll have some
Looks
fun
like
in this
fun.
place. Yeah, I'll do it. I could do this.
Instead of a ball pit, it's just like those foam blocks that you see. That looks fun too.
Yeah, it looked like there was designed so they could just fall off the rock climbing and land in that if they wanted to, which... So, I guess they're nice and soft.
Yeah.
Guess they're nice and soft. But she does show up for a little bit and is mildly amused, but she sneaks off with the boyfriend. And they go to, I think it was Club Sanity, or it was something like that if it wasn't that. And Keith's like, oh, I know what that place is. So he knows what it is, and it's obviously his old crew are there. It's full of naked people dancing in cages.
There's
It's
so many penises.
so many penises. It's just all this stuff everywhere. There's people having sex in the corner quite happily. Because Kelvin and Keith are walking through with their religious T-shirts on. They've got like Christian T-shirts.
Yeah.
And it basically does.
They,
It does that.
they really stand out, yeah.
They really stand out, but it does that thing where the police show up and everyone's like running for panic, and Kelvin has to try and like save the girl, and it does that thing where she falls down, she's being trampled by the angry horde, and she looks up, and Kelvin, it's basically "Come with me if you want to live," but because it's obviously religious, instead of like hearing that, we just hear "ah," it's this.
Yeah, and you get like the spotlight behind him. It's almost like this halo effect.
Yeah. So she's just being converted. This is her moment. But hey, Keith's old crew do actually help them out because they're struggling. They don't know where to run. There's cops at every corner, and they get them out this secret entrance which leads to the outside. And it's kind of about how Keith is like, no, I'm going to follow this man. This man's on a righteous path. That's what he says to
I'm
them.
gonna
'Cause,
see where this specimen takes me or something. I don't know.
yeah,
He says something praising Kelvin.
yes. And then Kelvin, the next thing that comes out of Kelvin's mouth is, I got to drop a deuce. Can we get going, Keith? As you do. So no, it was a delightful little plot because it really tied in Keith and gave him a little kind of arc throughout the episode where
Yeah, we love Keith, and anything that's going to give him more character, of course, we're going to be for. I also really enjoy Kelvin because Kelvin seems like the one who is the most about what he's doing, like the family business. Like he seems to be the one who's the most. I don't want to say righteous, but it might be the right word.
Yeah, well, I
Like
mean,
he does things for God. He seems to be very level-headed too, but he's not taken as seriously because he's the baby.
yeah. Whereas the other two
He still
siblings,
lives in his brother's shadow.
yeah, the other two siblings clearly are just in it for the gain, the monetary gain. Whereas he's actually seems to care about actually being a good youth pastor or
Yeah,
or
that's
whatever.
why he keeps Keith around, other than the fact that Keith is great. And maybe there's this other side story of them maybe being a romantic, but I don't know. I don't see it yet. I still see him I still see Kelvin just keeping Keith around because he wants an awesome friend, and it's his success story. You know, he saved him. I don't get like any kind of sexual vibe.
So he doesn't want
So I don't know if it's going that way.
so he doesn't want the Bobby, is what you're saying.
Here's one with the what?
The Bobby.
The Bobby? What do you say?
The Bobby, that's Boaby, Bobby.
I don't know what that means.
It's a Scottish word for penis.
Oh,
And hearing you say it back to
I'm
me
so glad you
is
said it was a Scottish word because I
yeah.
was just like, oh, am I just naive? I don't
No,
know.
no, it's a Scottish word. You're okay. But hearing you say that back has made my night. So, the Bobby, Bobby. No, we had that one ballsack scene, which could lead to something, but otherwise, no. I agree with what you're saying. I mean, that ballsack scene was really funny though,
It was hysterical.
because I
But
took
it's also just like, how do you bring something up? Maybe it's uncomfortable or awkward, so you just
yeah,
don't mention it.
I kind of took that as less to do with an attraction and more to do with just this weird awkwardness between them where they don't know how to like communicate about any of these things. So
Yeah.
they're just so that ambivalent with each other in that way. I don't know. Like it feels like it plays into the characters more than just being, hey, there's like a weird sexual side to this that might
Right.
that's unrequited or whatever.
I mean, but if it happens in the later episodes, then like maybe it'll be justified. But like as of right now, I just see him as trying to mend Keith into his best friend.
Yeah, and of course Kelvin does a couple other scenes, where he's first given this job, like Jesse tries to take it from him and is annoyed that Kelvin's been given the.
Yeah.
Because even
So does the sister too.
yeah, Eli even from the end of the table, who we only have one scene of him really in
That's
this
right.
episode, but Eli at the end, Walton Goggins in all his prime, is shouting over like,
And his wife.
we should team up on something, pasta or whatever, because he's got like a restaurant chain or something. This rich guy. We should team up on something, and no, not Eli. John Goodman's Eli.
Yeah.
Who's Goggins again? I'm forgetting his name.
Billy. Baby Billy.
Yeah, you're right. Billy Freeman. So he's shutting down, but Eli's like, no, we've already got something in the works. So Goggins has been that intrusive, like, he's clearly the embarrassment, like, headstrong one.
He's on the end of the table. He has to shout and be like, "What are you guys talking about? Chicken? We love your chicken."
Yes, more scenes where his wife is just there.
Hmm.
At the side is delightful, to be honest. I'm all about it. Which, and speaking of wives, this leads us on to the other, I'd say, main plot. There's a sort of third plot, but there's two main plots. Main plot being that one of the other wives finds some emails between her husband, the fat guy, whose name I have not learned, and Jesse. and it's basically like, oh, that was great. Oh, those prostitutes were fantastic. What how about those titties? You know, it was all this really
ATL.
ATL. There
Yeah.
you go. It was all this really incriminating stuff, and Jesse responded, and he responded back, and she says this to the other wives who are around, and Jesse's wife is just like, I don't believe this. Oh, he said it was hacked. That's probably the case then. Why would you?
Oh, well, there's your answer.
There's your answer. My husband would never do that.
Yeah, she is willfully ignorant.
Yeah, and she brings it up with Jesse. That does Amber when they're just brushing their teeth or whatever at night, and
Hmm.
he obviously looks very distressed and tries to play it off and is like, oh, I'm so angry. All this prying and someone trying to make us look like fools. There may have been some joke emails that were sent back and forth, but of course, the next time we see him, he's with the guys and he's like, "Hey, I deleted my emails. He deleted his emails. He deleted his emails, but you didn't effing delete your emails." And it really goes to town on him. But of course, Amber, who also was really into guns, there's like a whole scene of her doing like a shooting range, and like doing like a tactical maneuver and all sorts.
Yeah, that's definitely going to come up in a significant way later.
Yeah, that's coming up. See when she eventually becomes aware of what Jesse's into and that there's bad people involved, that she's probably going to end up using her skills at some point. This is Chekhov's Amber,
Yeah.
but she wants to go over and help the couple. It's like, hey, we have to go in. Jesse's like, oh, it's none of our business. We should probably just. It's like, yeah, but we can go and help them and pray with them. It's like, if you want to, I suppose. But I love how Jesse basically solves the problem, explains that this is, and they've set up like a fake IMDb page to explain that ATL's a movie from 2006, and I'm like, this is all going to go down the toilet if one of them says, "Oh, can we watch it?" But what I love about it is if you look at when it shows the phone and you see the IMDb page, is that you can tell that they've just thrown this together quickly because like there's almost no information on it. It's just a poster.
Is that not a real movie? I thought it was.
Is it? I don't think so. I've never heard of it. I thought they were making it up. ATL IMDb. Ah,
I think it's a real movie.
it's a real movie. I thought they made it up.
It sounded too specific, like the cast and stuff, to not be a real film.
Huh. I assumed they made that up because I'd never heard of this. That is well, fair enough. Fair enough. I have learned something today. All right. There you go.
That's one to add to the 121.
Is it maybe good?
Probably not.
I like to see
I
everyone.
mean, high praise from the show.
I mean, I guess. But I mean, what I liked about this scene though is that when they're praying together as a group, after they've kind of like the wife has kindly calmed down a little bit and is maybe accepting that this is not what she thought it was, even though she's totally right. And they're holding hands and praying, and they're all looking to get their heads down. But Jesse's just like looking right at the husband in the eye, like, like I had to come over and do this, you piece of shit. And he's like, thank you. He's like mouthing thank you at him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. It's so good. So that was a fun little subplot. I definitely think the Kelvin stuff was the main plot. Obviously, there is the third minor plot, which I'm going to get to before we get to the last scene with Jesse, because it ties in with that. So there's a scene earlier on where Gideon's, because he was asking last episode to be shown the family business and like learn about the base and everything, the compound, and he basically gets the Goodfellas tour of the money and the money laundering and how it all works, and like just all the piles and piles of cash, and then eventually the vault. And we know this is because he wants to get all this info for Scotty, and he's telling Scotty all this, and Scotty of course thinks that he knows how to break in because he researched a role for a stunt that he did once where he had to like slide under a vault door.
We get a demonstration too.
We get a demonstration, and he's convinced that he can pull this off. So that's basically it. That's essentially it. Is just that he's trying to convince Gideon that they should do this. He makes Gideon kind of denounce his family and say, "No, f them. Screw your family," and he does. And so this is clearly the main plot of the season. Is like this sort of build up to. I mean, it may not be the end of the season. It may happen in the next 2 episodes, and then we'll, go anywhere from there. But selling.
Who knows? Like, in my experience with vice principals, I mean, you can't predict where the next episode's going to go and where it's going to end.
But yeah, but I think Gideon's kind of like betrayal of the family, as it were, is kind of the main plot. Whatever form that takes, is as we go. But of course, the big thing that happens at the end is that when Jesse and Amber are driving home, he sees the van because Scotty just happens to be driving past with Gideon in the other seat, and he makes a U-turn. Even though he's talking to Amber and he can't really explain what's happening to Amber, he makes a sharp U-turn.
They're all pumped up because they just saved a marriage with prayer.
Yes, they're all excited and happy. And he just makes this U-turn and they start chasing the van, and she's like, what are we doing? He's like, oh, it's a guy I play poker with or something. I don't know what he says. It's something like that. I play cards with this
he's
guy.
like, we play card games or something like.
And he's chasing him. The speed's increasing. The van's increasing speed. They're increasing the speed. It becomes this high speed chase to the point where the van ends up flipping. It makes a sharp turn and flips over multiple times. And Gideon and Scotty just have to like run out, and they don't get seen. They're kind of enough in the distance that they get run into the forest and don't get seen. But Jesse, as he gets out of the car, just pulls out his gun. He's like, wait, it's nothing, Amber. Just wait. And even when she asks again, when like, he's standing there with his gun out, he's like, oh, it's just some friends of mine. I was like, oh yeah, the high speed.
He says it really aggressive, like just like stay in the car, don't ask questions.
Yes. Which is a nice kind of payoff. The whole episode's kind of been like her saying, no, he would never lie to me. He would never lie to me. He has no secrets. And then this ending kind of completely like, no, he definitely has a secret. He has at least one secret right now. So
it also, like you brought up the mob thing with the money, but even this scene like reminds me of a mob scene, like where you don't want to know about the business that I'm doing. Like, honey, just stay where you are, be a wife, and don't ask questions because you don't want to know the answer. Just you want to live this life of luxury.
Yes. I feel that she is going to find out, and I think the idea of her being an ally and being pissed at him but still wanting to like fight against the blackmailers has some potential.
I can't even fathom where the next episode's going to go because I know that whatever I guess it'll go a direction that I just can't.
I actually think
I can't predict.
I mean, it may not be the whole episode, but I think the next episode's a flashback episode.
Oh.
Because I saw the preview at the end for the next one. It's set when Eli's wife's still alive, and so him and Walton Goggins are there, but there's kids playing all the siblings.
Oh, I think I said that too, actually, because I remember seeing Walton Goggins, but without the old age makeup.
Yeah. So we might not even get like the fallout of this cliffhanger until episode 6 in a couple of weeks' time. This might be a complete flashback episode.
That's okay. I'm pro Goggins.
I am also pro Goggins. I cannot complain. No, it was a solid episode. I like this one more than last week.
Because of Keith?
Largely, but I think just in general. Although that said, I did miss Edie a little bit. Or sorry, not Edie, sorry, Judy. Her real name's Edie.
Yeah.
Judy, like, I like a lot, and she has a couple of funny moments in this one where she's kind of like mocking Kelvin because he's doing a bad job or something like that. Like she doesn't have her own thing. I guess it's like, okay, we only have like enough for a couple of plots.
She's so episode. Funny. I'm sure she's gonna get her own like episode storyline with her and her fiance, who doesn't come from money but doesn't come from poverty either.
No, hard-working class family.
I like this episode a lot too. Have you ever been to like a youth group?
Oh no, never.
I got talked into going once. And it is very much like that. Just like the leader has the high energy and it's just like, I'm one of you, I'm one of the kids. But like, he's like the super cool guy who's trying to get you to be cool for God or Jesus. Yeah.
I would have had a nightmare.
Yeah.
If I had been forced into that as a kid.
It was nothing I was forced into. It was I've always, like, my family's not religious, so like anytime I've had to go to like a religious event, like a wedding at a church or something, it was usually because I spent the night at my friend's house on a Saturday and we had to go in the morning. They went to church in the morning and brought me. But yeah, once when I was a teenager, I had a friend who was really adamant that I go to her youth group. And she's like, I swear you'll love it. And the whole time I was there just reinforced the reason why I wasn't religious. But I mean, they did do some fun activities. But at the end, you had to talk about Jesus. So I was out.
And that sucked all the fun right out of it. Yes,
Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that. It's always it's weird because it's almost like they're bribing you with like fun stuff. It's like, hey, we'll give you this big play area, trampolines, some, whatever. But there's a catch.
I mean, it's exactly what it's doing, except they believe what they're doing is right.
Yes, yes, they don't see it as like a drug dealer hooking someone in at a young age.
No, but they definitely go for the type of people who don't have anything else to do on a Wednesday night. Like, they don't have friends to hang out with on a Wednesday night, you know?
I feel like
They recruit the sad ones.
I feel like I would be such a cynical prick if I was ended up in that situation. I
Oh
certainly
yeah,
I
I
certainly would
have
be now.
stories, but I'm not going to tell them here.
That's fine. I would like to hear some off air. Thank you very much. Uh, like I'd be like, oh, see, when's exorcism class? Can I learn to do an exorcism? Things like that.
The power of Christ compels you. Where do you keep the holy water?
I want to go hunting vampires. Where's the holy water? Where's
Yeah.
the where's all the supernatural armory? Like where's all the armory for the supernatural entities? Like where do we store all that?
You guys got Annabelle back here somewhere?
All right, that has been episode 4 of the Righteous Gemstones. It was good fun. Let us know what you thought of the episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the show and this channel and everything we do here, you can, of course, do that by rating the podcast app you listen to this on. Or not rating the podcast app, rating this show on the podcast app. Like, I'm sick, people. I'm really sick right now, okay? I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. As I sniff. Hopefully away from the mic so I didn't pick up too much, but who knows. So yes, you can rate as 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or wherever. Financially, of course, Tara, you're the money person here.
Money, money, money. Probably not a great thing to say before we plug Patreon. Yeah, you can check out our Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MildfuzzTV. Even just donating $1 per month, it helps us out, and you'll get a bunch of free content. Or I shouldn't say free. You get a bunch of bonus content for your $1.
Yes.
Totally worth it. You get bonus episodes of our science fiction movie review show, the horror one, Screams After Midnight, that you do with other hosts, and more episodes of Mild Fuzz Mysteries. What's a Mild Fuzz mystery? You have to pay $1 and find out.
That was adequate. I just watched the news radio episode where they get a review in the magazine, and they call Bill adequate, and he thinks it's great. And no one can understand why he's so. No one can understand why he's so happy with the word adequate. But anyway, I've been watching news radio. I'm on season 3. I'll be done by next.
Already?
Yeah.
Well, you've been sick.
I've been sick. I watched season 1 was only 7 episodes though, so I did that in one night. Season 2 I did in about 2.5 days.
Jesus.
That was like 21 episodes. It's so easy. There's like 20 minutes each. They're so quick.
Yeah. All right.
So quick. But anyway, so yes, do of course go to Patreon, and you can of course get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz, and I said that already. I think I told you I was sick, guys. Yeah. So thank you very much once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Have you got any vanilla?